Hey guys, it's Charlie for BZ Truth. I kind of have a heavy heart and I just want to vent a little bit and I don't want to be negative, the glass half empty, pessimistic attitude or whatever. But sometimes when a bunch of crap is just flying at you, it's hard to sustain sometimes. And I just, I'm in a kind of a hard spot. And again, transparency is key. I want to make sure that people if I can help you heal in any way by, unpacking some of my stuff, maybe, I don't know. But so I'm, thinking right now that I basically have nobody, nobody to turn to. We're in a really hard spot in the world. But, I was talking to one of the subscribers on one of the comments, and we were talking a little bit about what is bound in on the earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever is loosed on the earth will be loosed in heaven. And it makes me realize that this battle is against or is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. And I'm oftentimes, defaulting back to my fleshly ways, I guess. And I forget that when you're offensively trying to contend for the faith, oftentimes, especially if you're going against the flow of society and going against literally the mainstream, you find yourself not only alone, but uh, there's just no comfort in what I'm doing. I guess you could say that I find fulfillment in uh, unearthing, the hidden messages or secrets of, you know, what it is that God's revealing to us. But at the same time, it's like I feel like at what cost? I mean, I feel like there's a cost involved in that. The cost is that I'm literally exposing myself to um, the demonic, I guess you could say, and so really here's the crux of why I decided to make a video about this. And I'll tell you right now, I'll be very surprised if my wife ever stumbles onto this video because the reality is she doesn't support what I do. I have to literally tiptoe around, walk on eggshells, and figure out how to get the information out to you guys. And now I'm not like telling on my wife necessarily. I just, her heart is not in, trying to reveal the truth to the world or even address the deeper issues that actually are very depressing. She just would rather focus on the positive things in life, even though even though she's pretty negative a lot of times. Or maybe that's part of it. She honestly, I think she fears a lot, and she can't process through all this information without it just really scaring the crap out of her. So I try to be very discreet and I hide it from her so that she doesn't have to deal with all the stuff that I'm dealing with. And so I'm alone in all this. I don't have a supportive spouse when it comes to, getting information out there. And I feel like, after putting out a lot of this stuff, uh, that my dad, wrote his book or whatever, uh, I'm putting out the audio books, and I'm realizing that a lot of the content is kind of gripping me in a lot of ways. It's making me think about, pagan rituals and how it integrated into everything that we do. And I really don't want that. But the problem that I'm running into with, just being, um, somebody who grows out of that mindset, when you have somebody else that's so rooted into paganism and the rituals that go along with it, it's next to impossible to, go against the yoke, I guess you could say. You're yoked with somebody else that is literally on opposing paths. Now, I've been married for 13 years, so I've been with my wife for almost 14 years. And granted, I feel like a lot of this is, you know, kind of the midlife crisis type situation or mid-marriage crisis. I mean, I always hear a lot of, people that have been married for a long time. They say that we've, hit a point in our marriage where it's very difficult and can't get. I mean, it seems like the early years are the ones that are easier, but the later years are you have to do more work or put more work into it. And honestly, in a lot of ways I've kind of let a lot of that fall to the wayside because I feel like I carry around a lot of baggage from my past, and I carry around a lot of stuff that prevents me from, um, I guess, doing the right thing when it comes to my marriage. I mean, I try to do it in the way that seems natural to me, but sometimes I fall short. And the reason I know I fall short is because my wife has no problem letting me know where I fall short. So, gosh, guys, I'm very sorry if I'm like complaining. I don't mean to. I just feel like I'm in a very deep rooted issue that I don't really know how to get out of it without a lot of intercession. I feel like I'm under spiritual attack, and I just need to be able to. Um, I need a community that is with me through these times, because, in all honesty, uh, feeling like I'm alone right now, and a lot of things like this is kind of it's like resistor or attractor. When you have a magnet or whatever, you have two magnets going up to each other, and if it's like a metal surface, it'll pull toward the magnet, and if it's like two positives or whatever, uh, they will resist each other. And I know that talking negative all the time is almost like a frequency, and I don't mean to create that negative vibe that pushes people away. I don't want to do that. Um, but I don't know. This crap is so crazy. But I, I want to continue to, interview people and unpack all this stuff. But I find myself realizing that when you're alone and you don't have so, when really every time you do an interview or make videos, you have to do it discreetly without uh, interfering with your relationships. I mean, I'll just tell you right now that becomes a very big challenge for me, and that's why I don't crank videos out like every day. I totally would if I was in a different situation. But again, I also have two young kids, and I don't want to neglect them either. And honestly, I love the time that I get with my kids in the morning, because I go to work at 2 in the afternoon. So I get to spend about 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. with my boys. So anyways, with all that said, this battle is not against flesh and blood. is hard for me to wrap my head around sometimes, because I feel like that is all the battle I ever see is flesh and blood. But whatever is bound in heaven, it will be bound on earth, and whatever is loosed in heaven will be loosed on earth. I kind of get the feeling that all the stuff that I'm involved in is kind of creating a byproduct of turmoil. And the turmoil actually is the resistance of the enemy trying to derail whatever it is I'm doing. Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I'm doing exactly what God wants me to do and all this, because sometimes I feel like I've done a lot of this stuff just out of my own intrigue. But sometimes when it comes full circle, I realize God is all powerful, and he lets things happen the way that he lets things happen for a reason. And if I'm doing anything that helps anybody, or helps change lives or whatever, I really want to believe that that is God using me, or allowing me to be an instrument, or his hands and feet, as far as the body being his hands and feet. And so anyways, I don't know. Sorry about the Christianese, but I guess, a lot of it is, it's very deep stuff. And I don't want to get stuck in my um, fleshly, you know, struggles, I guess. I don't want to be uh, you know, conforming to the fleshly struggles. I want to resist the enemy so that he'll flee. So I don't know if any of this applies to you guys. I hope it helps, but if it sounds negative and you already freaking shut the video off, I really apologize that, you know, having to deal with negativity. It's not my intention, but I love you guys very much, and I appreciate people who are willing to stick with me through the thick and thin, or whatever. So it's nice to be able to drive to work and have opportunities to chat with you guys. That's kind of what's happening here. Is as often as you see me driving and talking, that's kind of where I have my opportunities. So, anyways, yeah, leave me a comment and let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, this is not an everyday occurrence. Every once in a while, I like to vent, but for the most part, I try to stay on track. So, if you're interested in hearing more, I got a lot coming. Got a lot of awesome interviews coming, and hopefully Satan doesn't try to derail what's happening. Maybe he already is trying to derail it, but hopefully the Lord will intervene and allow the work to be done. So if you guys have a moment to pray for me and my wife and my family. I think that there's a chance that there's COVID in our house, but I'm not about to stop going to work, because I don't think that my work will give me a benefit if my wife is sick. So it would be unpaid for 21 days of the positive diagnosis. So I'm not going to deal with that. And anyways, I don't know. That's about it. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.